It was heartbreaking to read the Facebook post of Officer Ramo's son, Jaden, 13. Everyone says they hate cops, Jaden wrote, but they are the people that they call for help. But those who protested the killing of Eric Garner, Michael Brown, and others bear no responsibility for the twisted mind and crimes of Mr. Brinsley, who committed suicide after killing the two officers. On the contrary, it is in the long-term interest of police, as well as the communities they serve, to shape reforms that might reduce the incidence of police violence while still valuing officer safety and fighting crime. As Eric Adams, Brooklyn Borough President, and a former police captain told the Times, calling for reform is not a call for harm of police officers. Not so many years ago, everyone seemed to be celebrating the broken windows method of policing, which held that refusing to tolerate small infractions such as graffiti will reduce the incidence of more serious crime too. Now protesters are calling for less aggressive enforcement of misdemeanor offenses, which they say sweep too many poor minority men into the criminal justice system. Finding the right balance won't be easy. It is made more difficult by inflammatory, unsupported rhetoric like that of Mr. Giuliani.
Yeah. Trying to get us excited. That's their job. This is not something you would tell me. That's their job, to get people excited.
Who's that?
Giuliani, the police, labor guy. What's his name? Patrick Lynch. They're excited. They're trying to whip up their base. Mm-hmm. I think that some people are just afraid that, if you empower black people, that they will lose something. So that's where that's going.
What would they lose?
I think that if you're working class, again, this goes back to the same situation. You're a working class person. You're on the fringe. You might lose your job. So rather than blame the corporation that has outsourced your job, it's the fault of somebody black who got a job above you. Somebody black got a chair or accepted to a college when your kid didn't. You are under the impression, with the help of Fox News and a lot of these right-wing outlets, that black people are getting all these breaks, or people are getting food stamps and welfare, and everyone's living much better, and not working rather as hard as you are. And so this kind of stuff whips it up for them.
So the misperception.
The misperception whips it up, and so we're all out here broke, but we're fighting each other. And meanwhile, other people are...
Well, the mayor said Black Lives Matter should stop all the protests until after the funerals of the two cops. But the guy says no.
Which guy said no?
The guy who's the leading the march. What? Black Lives Matter.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter. They're leading the march all over New York. And he said that he's not going to stop the march. We're going to get to that.
But what do you think about that? Should they? Do you think they should stop?
No. Because I think, you can't put a deranged man activities. Just as how, when all these things happen at Columbine, you can't say that all people that look like that gentleman is going to go into school and kill people. Right?
Right.
You can't make the same analogy. So and that just came to me. It's funny.
Yes, we have to, for everything that one black person does, the whole race.
Yeah, and you never hear they paint the Columbine killers.
Well, if you're an Arab, you're a terrorist. If you're a Mexican, you're illegal. And if you're black, you're something else. But if you're white, because white is the standard, so they can deviate. They can have many different aspects to them.
But you know what we need to do? Seriously, I am going to approach a community coalition, and I talk with you about that. It's about time in these communities we really start to talk these issues, just as how the young ladies, the students at Columbia start to talk seriously about looking at the lower level classes and seeing that how uneven and unbalanced it is. And it's time we really and truly do something about it rather than just giving it face value.
And what would you think this new discussion should be?
The new discussion should be, listen, right? A lot of us have different backgrounds, okay? Different ideas. We face different realities. And we got to understand that there are different realities. It's just the way it is, just the way the United States of America is. And we have to face up to those realities. And not saying that, you know what, I want to call you out for something, or I'm a racist because I say this. You know, but what happened is that some people say things because of their experience or inexperience. Because that's all you know. Like, for example, if I'm this new person that just came from Trinidad coming to America, I wouldn't know much about racism unless I've done the research and I've read the newspapers and I read Fox News and all of that stuff. You know, so in these communities, we got to seriously start to talk about these issues and not put it like, as we say, you know, you put icing on the cake so you don't know what the color of the cake is.
I'm tired of that analogy, but go ahead.
And the Community Coalition, you know, many times I've been saying that for the longest while, they should have addressed the disparity in the education system in South Orange and Maplewood.
I think that they knew that a long time ago.
I didn't say that they didn't know it. I said they should address it.
You should have addressed it.
Address it. Knowing and not addressing, it's difficult. But not knowing and not addressing is okay. If you don't know, you can't address it.
All right. I don't want to go there.
What do you mean by you don't want to go there?
Okay. I'll just leave that alone. I mean, I want to say something, obviously, but I'm not going to say it. So. Right.
So I think.
What do you want them to address now this time? That there are different voices in the black community or in the black.
No. I don't want them to address anything with I don't want them to address any voices or anything. I want them to address the disparities in the system. And really address them. The students at Columbia High School talked about it. They talked about the disparities. They talked about the disparities in AP
what
classes.
System are you talking about? Education system?
Education, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Education, suspension, you know, gifted and talented, you know, project ahead, AP classes, honors classes.
Well, obviously, they weren't addressing it so much, and this is why we have to have a lawsuit. You know, and civil actions. Yes?
They're going to address it.
Someone else had to jump on that.
Now, there is this online website called blackbluedog.com. And here is the question. And this is a question. Should African Americans say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay.
What do you think?
Anselm, I asked you that months ago. And what did you say months ago?
They don't have to if they don't want to.
You said months ago that sure, everyone should get up and say.
No, I never said that.
I wish we could replay.
No, I never said
I could
that.
Find that podcast.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I said no. I said if they don't want to, then they don't have to.
Okay.
That's what I said. As a matter of fact, let's read the ad. This is by Samori Swigert. Okay. Does the Pledge of Allegiance bear any contemporary relevance to African American? As an African American citizen, do you feel you should place your hand on your chest and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and in addition, sing the national anthem? I pose these questions because I was a moderator in a discussion between two friends of mine who are blood brothers. The situation was very intriguing because it was like night and day between their arguments. One of the brothers is in the military and is very patriotic, and the other brother is the polar opposite. They get along well and always have, but their debates are always funny to me because they can articulate their argument with such accuracy, significance, fervor, and zeal, but then have a drink together and clung about anything. I mean, they get theatrical and heated. I would like to share some of their points for your take and feedback. The soldier sibling. The brother that is in the military, also completed an active tour of duty, has a strong sense of patriotism. He feels that America affords freedom and liberties that go unrivaled when you compare it to much of the globe. These are his points. American citizens have freedom to practice whatever religion they want. You can dress the way you want. You don't have to subscribe to arranged marriages. You can have as many children as you want or can afford. The level of healthcare, hygiene, and sanitation ranks high on a global scale. Your income and resources are based on how dedicated you are to achievement and not curtailed or controlled by the government completely. He also asserted that African Americans have equally invested in America through centuries of free, hard labor and have fought and died for the United States. He feels that pledging allegiance is more than just reciting words, but also honoring and remembering the African American that built this country and were killed for this country.
Were killed for this country.
Yeah, killed for this country.
By this country?
Killed for this country.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you didn't mention those.
Okay.
Right? So that's the soldier guy. The non-military sibling now is a type of brother who sitting down between the national anthem while everybody else is standing. His perspective is based on the premise that pledging allegiance and singing the national anthem is as an African American is ludicrous. His points are: why pledge allegiance to a country that never acknowledged you as an equal? Why pledge allegiance to a country where you have to fight and still have to fight for the right to vote if you're a citizen? Why pledge allegiance when the justice system routinely fails African Americans? Why pledge allegiance to a system that we pay taxes but never paid reparations for the centuries of free labor? Why pledge allegiance to a system that allows the KKK to legally operate, knowing that they are a hate-based terror group historically and presently? Why pledge allegiance when American citizens' concerns have been replaced by corporate America's lobbyist agenda? Why pledge allegiance when American public school system doesn't have an in-depth history of the contribution of African Americans, and American history classes are predominantly preoccupied with white Americans' contributions and success story? Why pledge allegiance to a country that had to pass a law making it legal to lynch African Americans? Why pledge allegiance to a country whose prosperity was dependent on the slaughter of the pre-Columbus natives, the occupation of their land, and the relocation of indigenous tribes to reservation? There were some of the points that were being volleyed back and forth in the debate. The debate was very spirited. I really wish you could see and hear them go point for point. I was really captivated by seeing how their ideals diverge in such opposition on this topic. They had the same upbringing as far as parents, schooling, and exposure. Their parents have been together for 42 years. Personally, I think both sides make a good case. What are your thoughts? Should African Americans pledge allegiance and or sing the national anthem?
And so you take the opinion that if you want to, you should.
If you want to, you should.
It's a pretty safe place to go.
If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Okay. Well, you don't have to anyway.
Well, I mean, but if you don't, someone should say you're not patriotic.
If you don't, you wouldn't really worry about that.
Yeah. You could get backlash for that. People can say, listen, you're not American. You're not patriotic.
Okay.
All these people that go to war and fight for you, they're fighting for you.
And then I would probably tell them I don't think so.
Who they fighting for? They're fighting to keep America safe.
From what?
They're fighting from Al-Qaeda. They're fighting for ISIS. Who's going to come here and try to bomb you and blow you up? We're trying to protect you from
You take that? You believe that?
That what?
That you could take that. You could argue that they're fighting.
Yeah, people
to
could
keep
argue
me
that.
free. You could argue that though.
Oh, I could argue that too. I could also argue I don't have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. But why not standing makes you unpatriotic? If you don't want to stand, if you don't want to put your hand by your heart.
I wouldn't think that it did. I mean, what do you know about the pledge?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know much.
You want me to give you?
Remember, I'm a naturalized citizen.
You want me to give you a quick history?
No.
No, allow me to. That's my job here.
No, you don't need
It's
to.
really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
It was written by this guy, Francis Bellamy,
Mm-hmm.
who is a Christian socialist.
Mm-hmm.
And the pledge was written actually to sell flags. So they needed to sell flags. And so this guy wrote this for the sake of that. and came up with this ritual of standing up. At first, the stand, our salute, was sort of like Nazi-like, and